Appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I'm going to change perspectives just a little bit and talk about things from the producer's perspective and what we can do and the information that we provide to them. Let's see.
I think you can just use
this one. Okay, great, thanks. To give you just some background on dairy records management systems, we're one of 4 dairy records processing centers in the United States, and we do the types of things that these dairy records processing centers do of merging and editing and processing data, and then delivering management reports and data files to various people, but most importantly to producers. We also develop software for the desktop and web and handhelds, smartphones, and that type of thing. We work for 19 different dairy farmer co-ops, and they deliver data to us, and they represent about 2.2 million cows. Why genotype heifers? As been mentioned earlier today, it is reasonably priced, and they can improve the reliability of their data that they use for selection by doubling it, depending on the different reliabilities that you see, but at least it usually doubles. And we first received our female genomics results in February 2012. Of course, producers in the U.S. have been genotyping their heifers for some time, but it wasn't until very recently that the dairy records processing centers received those data to incorporate into our data files. And so we've asked dairy producers what they do and their intentions, and it's not always what we think they should do, but certainly their primary purpose, the ones that we talked to, was to flush for merchandising, and then flushing for their own herd, breed with sex semen, and so to use for selection, and then breed to either a beef bull or to cull. Certainly, as has been mentioned today, it's certainly practical to be used in commercial dairies, and some of the options with that have been outlined in a recent Journal of Dairy Science article by Kent Weigel and Associates, and certainly culling at an early age or culling as yearlings, genotyping the bottom and then keeping the top, genotyping the top 50% and then select the top 10, 20, or 30%. Genotype all of the heifers and then sell the bottom 10, 20, or 30%. And then there's several other options that were suggested. But as we'll see in just a few minutes, we don't get to work with many commercial dairies that are using this right now. So 795 herds have genotyped, and as you remember, I said a few minutes ago, we've worked with 14,000 herds, so it's a relatively small percentage, and 61% of those are enrolled on a breed registry program. 39% are not enrolled, and about a third of the producers are small herds for the U.S., less than 100 cows, and then half are in the medium size, and then another 16% of the larger herds. It's not always the highest producing herds that want a genotype. In fact, 10% are less than 9,000 kilogram, but we do have about 46% that are the higher producing herds. So we have records for about 18,496 heifers. Now these are the ones, we actually have received more than twice that many, but these are the ones that are currently 24 months of age or less. And most of those are Holstein, some Jersey, and a few Swiss. Most of them are sire and dam identified. A few are missing sire and dam, and just a very small percentage have neither parent. But what was striking is that most of the producers are genotyping their heifers very early, over 50% less than 3 months, and then 3/4 of them are less than 6 months. The rate of genomic testing, 75% of the herds are testing less than 10% of their heifers, so they're cherry picking the heifers and deciding which ones to work with there, and about 3% are testing over 50%. We do have a few herds that are testing all of their heifers. So we've developed, when we first received this information a few months ago, we worked with our on-farm systems. The primary system is called PC-DART, and with that system we've developed a a whole series of methods to enable producers to very flexibly choose the information that they look at and use it quite flexibly. However, today I'm going to focus on the information that we can provide to, we've got about 9,000 dairy producers that don't work with that system, and so we must be inventive in how we provide printed reports to them, and so that's what I'm going to talk about here today. And it's a series of 4 lists that's provided as a package. And the first one is heifers less than 6 months, and the expectation is that they would use this list to choose which heifers to genotype. And it's sorted on descending parent average for net merit, which is our prediction of lifetime profit deviated from breed average, and then they would use that to identify the heifers to flush or cull. Now, I don't expect you to be able to see that, but I do want to show you that we do have full-page reports, and I'm going to, I've sliced off portions of this to illustrate what the producer can see. And so certainly we've got the tombstone information on the left and right of the report with the barn name, heifer, and birth date, and then the pedigree. And then in the center of the report, PTAs, and again, it is in a descending sort by net merit dollars. And then, of course, you know, this particular heifer has this particular producer has 2 heifers on there that are full sibs. He's probably interested in getting more information about. One thing that we do provide for them is a field that's called heifer flag, and it's the percentile rank for net merit dollars on this list. So the top heifer is higher than 94% of the other heifers on this list. And our perception is that they're going to be making decisions at various points in the heifer's life, and so it's really relative to the heifers on this list, not all the heifers in the herd. And then we do note if the net merit dollars as a parent average is based on less than a full pedigree. The second list are the heifers that have been genotyped, less than 12 months old. And then, of course, in this report, the genotypes replace the parent averages, and then we add some other information, GPTA type and inbreeding coefficient. So we have the heifer flag on this report. Again, the data are oriented net merit dollars, and there is a G, and you'll see that in the subsequent reports. The G indicates that it is a genotyped heifer. And then we've added something in this list here so that we indicate which heifers are in the top 20% nationally. So that gives him additional information to decide about whether this is a heifer he wants to flush or market, and so on. And then, of course, we've got percentile rank again on this list of genotyped heifers. So that's list. We've looked at list 1 and list 2. The next thing that we've provided to the producer to help him with his decision-making effort there is the percentile rank of this heifer if she were placed with the net merit dollar of all the milking cows. So it compares the heifer to the milking herd, and so that you can see that top heifer there is higher than 99% of the milking cows, and that also we're told that will help him with his decision-making process. So we've got some very top heifers there. The other thing that we list here are the fertility haplotypes. In the Holstein breed, there are 3 deleterious haplotypes that are available in the U.S., and as you can see, we denote those with a C as a carrier so that they have that additional information. They're actually there's a haplotype for Swiss and then one for Jersey also. The third list, these are the heifers that are ready to breed. They're at least 12 months old and not diagnosed pregnant. And then the expectation is that the producer will determine how many heifers he needs, add some additional margin to that, and then he can use this list that if she's to be bred, then should he use female sex semen. And if the net merit dollars is moderate, then maybe this is a heifer that's worthwhile to be a milker, but maybe it should be a recipient. And then this is the last reasonable opportunity to identify culls. So again, we have the heifer flag, and then as you can see, and this is a herd that doesn't genotype all of its heifers, so the ones that have genotypes have a G in the net merit dollars column. You know, again, top heifers. Then also on list 3, there's we believe that this is as I said earlier, the last opportunity to cull heifers before you feed them those last 9 to 10 months. And so these are heifers that are below, at the very bottom of the other heifers on this list, and the bottom 10% or lower. And then certainly they're also at the bottom compared to the cows. So certainly they're potential culls, and the producer has that information to help him with this decision making. The final list are pregnant heifers, and then it aggregates information from other lists. It adds due date and service sire, net merit dollars, and percentile rank, and then it indicates if the producer has used female sex semen. So again, the top heifers should be readily evident. And then the service sire information with some measure of whether he's used top service sires to breed to those top heifers. And so this is net merit percentile rank for the service sires. And then the S indicates that he has used sex semen for that breeding. Female sex semen, of these heifers that are 24 months or less, 29% have been bred, and of that 29%, 16% were bred with female sex semen. That's higher than we see in the rest of our database, so it's being used more frequently, and we've developed graphs with insights to changing in percent bred to female sex semen, and then the effectiveness of mating for genetic value. So in final comments, we're just getting started. As I said, it's just been a few months. We've really focused on our on-farm system, which gives them quite a lot of flexibility for those progressive producers. We have developed these 4 lists that help them determine who to genotype, cull, flush, breed, or manage, and we're developing the graphs to track their genotyping program and chart progress. And we expect our reports to change. We're trying to develop them so that they'll be adaptable to commercial producers, so that we don't have to have a whole series of reports, but we expect the reports to be changed some when we begin to work with more commercial producers. Thank you.